Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and I have a brand new desktop guitar amp to showcase today. This right here is from Hotone, and continuing their trend of names that no one is 100% sure how to pronounce, this is the Pulze from Hotone. Pulze, Pulse, Pulze, Pulze, from Hotone, Hotone, Hotone. I think the amp is supposed to be like Pulse, but with a Z, right? But anyway, regardless of the name, this right here is the best sounding desktop type guitar amp I have ever heard. And I know that sounds like a lot of hype, but when I plugged this in and listened to it, I was shocked at how good it sounded. Okay, well, why does it sound so good? So the amp tones that it has sound fantastic. And it has super clean sounding effects. But the thing that really does it for me, the thing that pushes the sound of the amp just over the top, is this weird 3D stereo effect that the amp has. The sort of stereo enhancement that the amp has, combined with the way they built the cabinet and the speakers that it has. When you are sitting with this amplifier, it's just kind of unbelievable what it sounds like. Now this 3D stereo effect that I'm talking about, they did not invent this. It's been around a while. You guys have maybe even seen or heard other amplifiers that had this, like the Black Star ID Core amplifiers had it like as a stereo effect. But the way it works in this amp, I've never heard it work so well with a guitar amplifier. And the other thing that's really, really cool about this is it's not just that it works with like a stereo effect, like a delay or something, but the effect can even be applied to like tracks and music that you play through the amplifier. Now, what Hotone calls it is the Space Plus stereo enhancement. I think of it as 3D stereo, or at least that's how I've heard it called in the past. And I think the best way I can describe this is that when you are sitting with this amp in a room, right, it sounds like you're wearing headphones. Like the sound is all around you and the sound is kind of like in your head, even if the amp is sitting over here. Okay, so obviously you guys need to hear more of the amplifier aside just the stuff that I played in the intro. And hopefully this, all these crazy stereo effects will come through in the video. But let's take a quick rundown of the specs and the features of the amplifier, and then we'll get into the demo. Okay, so just to start with, this is a 30-watt Class D solid-state stereo amplifier. It has a 4-inch touchscreen on top of the amplifier, and you do most of the controlling through that touchscreen. It's got 46 amp models, 48 cabinet models, a ton of different pedals and like studio effects. It also supports IRs, impulse responses, and the amp has some included, and then you can load 20 additional IRs into the amp on your own. Now with the included USB cable, you can also use the amplifier as an interface with 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz audio quality. It has a built-in metronome and drum machine. It's got a built-in tuner, headphone jack, auxiliary input jack, an acoustic simulator, and even some more advanced effects like pitch shifting. And all of this stuff and more can be controlled from the amplifier or from an app that you can put on your phone. Now there's a ton more capabilities and features that this amplifier has, but let's get into the demo first so you can really hear these amazing sounds that I'm talking about. All in all, this is just one of these do-it-all desktop type amplifiers, but compared to something like the Positive Grid, this amplifier just sounds so much better and so much cleaner. So this amp costs like $419, about $420, and I think they're really trying to compete with an amp like the Yamaha THR, because the Yamaha THR is a little more expensive. It's like $500, $550, but the THR 30 and this amp, they have the same power output, they have similar aesthetics, and they're both those kind of do-it-all desktop amplifiers. Now, one big difference is the THR has traditional knobs for the controls, whereas the Hotone amp has a touch screen, and almost all of your controlling you do through the touch screen and then this single knob right here. So if you like that minimalist design, this takes it to an extreme. All right, guys, so I've been talking about how great this thing sounds, but we want to hear it. Let's go ahead and listen to how it sounds. But of course, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new guitar gear, and you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm gonna use one of my really cool guitars from AIO, and we will listen to how the Hotone Pulze sounds. Okay guys, so I think the thing is here, if you're looking for one of these do-it-all amplifiers that you can put it on your desktop and plug it into your laptop, this is the best sounding amplifiers, you know, of all those little desktop type amps that I've heard. This is the best sounding one right here, and it can do everything you need it to do. Yeah, it doesn't have like the AI stuff that the positive grid amps do, but honestly, I don't think that many people are using that stuff. I think the sound of this amp, plus the capabilities it has for effects and recording, it just gets the job done and sounds great doing it. Now, all that being said, I think there are a few things that could be improved on this amplifier. I think in an effort to maximize that minimalist style, I think they have actually made the amplifier a little bit less intuitive to use. It's a 4-inch touchscreen that you're using on the amp to control everything on the amplifier. And that's a fairly small touchscreen considering all the buttons and sliding and everything that you're doing on there. So I don't mind the touchscreen, but I kind of wish it was a little bit bigger. You know, you look at the size of your thumb or your fingers or something, and you're trying to control, you know, little like rotary knobs on the touchscreen. It takes some practice to really be able to do it smoothly. Now, of course, you can use the app to do all of that stuff too, and I think the amp works best when you do have it hooked up to your phone and when you're using the app. But here's one of the catches with that. The app itself works great, but to install the app on your phone takes a little bit of finagling. You have to download the app, not from the App Store or something, but you have to download it from the Hotone website and then extract it and kind of manually install it on your phone. You might get these warnings like, hey, do you trust the source? Things like that, because it's not a typical way that you would install an app on your phone. And once you go through all that stuff, the app works great. But again, it's just not super intuitive. Also, one other thing to keep in mind with this amp, and this is not really a knock on the amp at all, but it's got this cool carrying handle on here. So this must be a portable battery-powered amp. Well, no, it's not. You use it with the power supply. There's no internal battery or anything like that. So the carrying strap is a little bit like, it's not really how you're meant to use this amp. This amp is meant to be parked on your desk or your table, you know, plugged into your laptop or something, or hooked up to your phone. It's not really like you take it to the park and, you know, you're playing or something like that. It's not one of those amps. But this strap, you know, it's like a guitar strap, right? So you can take it off, no problem. I think the big selling point of this amplifier is how incredibly good it sounds, and then what you can do with the amp, you know, the capabilities it has. This relatively small amplifier can be the centerpiece of your entire rig, and it will make you sound incredible. Okay guys, so there are so many features. I mean, you know, these amps have so much built-in stuff. There are so many other features that I don't have the time to go through in this video. I'd have to make like a 2-hour video to cover everything. So I'm going to leave a link down in the video description below if you want to check out the full, long, detailed list of all of the features and specs that it has. As usual, guys, what do you think about this amplifier? How do you think it sounds? Let me know down in the comments section below. Also, the guitar I was playing for the demo is one of the new, totally awesome neck-through Super Strat type guitars that AIO is selling. So this is, I think, a brand new model. So I have a link down in the video description for the guitar as well. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Links for everything I was talking about down in the video description. Let me know what you thought in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you very soon.